down here on the canyon unit, and I'm in the most canyon part of the canyon unit. This is kind of the reason we call it canyon unit. Super steep sided ravines right here. I'm kind of sitting where they all come together and join up. So during the rut, you got bucks cruising around, running the ridges, kind of where they all meet. It's kind of a good spot to sit. You can catch bucks coming from a bunch of different directions, and I think we kind of got that going on already. This morning as I was getting set up, there was a bunch of brambles or briars or something at the bottom of this tree. It took me forever to get up. It was getting a little bit, it was definitely lighter than I wanted. But I could hear them just crossed 30 yards away up on the other side of this hill in the cedars, and I could see tails. And they were definitely running around because they were kind of just going in circles. So I'm guessing there's a buck over there running my doe around. I seen one go kind of back to the north, and I heard one, and the blue jays were going just off to my east here, so hoping they kind of come back or keep walking around. Had a doe up top really early this morning. Anyways, Dad's kind of set up in a spot that we never sat before. There were some rubs and scrapes there, so not really sure what's there. Like I said, he's in a pretty teeny tiny little tree. Not in the tree I wanted to get him in, but we couldn't find it and it was getting late. He told me to just get over here to get to my spot. So I came over here. I think he ended up getting in that tree, but I don't know. He's not where I wanted to get him, so I don't know what he's going to see this morning. I've seen some stuff, I've seen some stuff coming through here already, so hopefully more stuff just keeps coming through. Nice and cold morning. Gonna warm up and be sunny, so perfect day for the rut for bucks to start cruising, so hopefully they keep running through here. We have the whole crew out this morning. We're sitting on a couple different pieces of public land this morning. Chance and Dad are sitting over together at a different piece of public land in an area that he did a little bit of in-season scouting in about a week ago or so. Found a bunch of good signs, so they went in to set up on two different spots over there, over some of that fresh sign, over some rubs and some scrapes. And I came back in here to this spot that we scouted back in the summer. This is that spot where we found all that good buck sign, that buck bedding. That buck bedding is right down here in front of me, and then right behind me along the edge of the river is where we found that scrape back in July or whatever. So luckily there's a few scrapes back there. It was hard to tell this morning because everything's frosted over, so it's hard to tell how fresh it is. Everything's got that layer of frost on it, but there's a couple scrapes back there where we found those ones this summer. And then I came in here into the woods. River's right back over here. Got the bedding right down here in front of me. Chance and Dad, like I said, are on a completely different piece of public land. Hopefully they're set up, and they're sending over some fresh signs, so maybe they'll have better luck than me. Well, it's probably 8:30 or so, maybe a little after, and had, I think it was a doe and a fawn coming straight from the north along the creek. I think I got footage of at least the fawn walking through, going up the hill, kind of going back up, and I seen them going that way up top. So I think they were down in here this morning. They worked their way up top, so I looked at my map to see kind of where they're headed. I think it's kind of different that they're not bedding down in here. They're headed up to the CRP or something, maybe. Not really sure, but at least we know there's deer back here. I heard them early this morning, and we seen those, that doe and that fawn. So there's does back here. So this time of the year, that usually means there's bucks back here, but so far no buck sightings. We're in a little bit deeper, so it wouldn't surprise me if it takes them a little while to get back in here. But good thing is, with all those oak leaves on the ground, we can hear them coming, so it helps us a little bit. But Nice and chilly this morning. We'll sit it out for a little while longer. Hopefully that buck shows up. Well, I'm not sure if it's the same one or not, but there's a doe staying right in that gap where I seen movement before, so again, coming from the north. Well, I think that'll wrap up my morning. Feet pretty much frozen. I'm in the one spot where the sun's not touching, so a little chilly. Just those, whatever was running around down here this morning in the dark. That doe and that fawn, and then that other doe that came through here later. Only thing I seen. I think we need to move up, kind of to our other spot. I'm not sure what Dad's seen. He hasn't really texted me like he's seen anything, but we'll see when we get over there if he's seen anything. Haven't talked with Brody either to see if he's seen anything. He's on a completely different property somewhere else, but that'll wrap up my morning. Get everything down, and then we might be back here this evening, but if not, we'll be somewhere this evening. I'm gonna make this pretty quick, pretty quiet. There's that doe that came in right after I got done doing that opening interview. Came in. She's just been standing around down here, browsing on locust spots and stuff. And I had a feeling she wasn't trying to get anywhere. I was like, she's gonna bed down in here somewhere. This is right in that bedding that we found in July. And sure enough, I look over, and she lays down right over here about 50 yards. So I don't know what the plan of action is to do now, but there's a doe right over here bedded down. That's gonna wrap it up for me for the morning. Definitely in a bedding area, just not a buck bedding area, at least not this morning. So obviously that one doe came in this morning and bedded down, and then here just a little bit ago, about 30 minutes ago or so, a couple does came back through here and worked back to the west there. So and then that doe that was bedded here kind of got up and followed them back over that way. So 3 does in here, and I bumped a couple when I came in this morning. So there's deer back in here, but from my stand right now, I can't see a whole lot of sign or anything. So kind of keep a lookout when I walk out, try to look for some signs, see if there are some bucks back in here. But I ain't seen a whole lot of buck sign. And with the does kind of bedding right here, it kind of makes you think that the bucks might be a little bit farther back in some of this stuff. The hard part about that is we can't really go back that way too much farther because the public runs out. So I was expecting to see maybe some small bucks chasing some does around and stuff, but we may just not be quite in the right spot. So I'll be interested to see what Chance and Dad saw today, hunting over all that fresh rut sign, if they've seen anything. But I'm going to go ahead and climb down, get out of here and look for some sign on my way out. Like I was saying, this is definitely a bedding area. It's just not a buck bedding area. I think that's just a fawn. It's the same fawn that's been in here all morning. After I got done doing the closing interview, I was going to climb down and take advantage of the fact that she had moved off and back out of here before I bump anything out. Closed the interview and looked up and saw her coming back, and then she came back and just bedded right down here at about 10 yards below tree, so definitely a bedding area. We just gotta find the buck bedding areas and not the doe bedding areas. So I met up with Dad. He had a slightly better morning than I did. I think they're moving later from the sounds of it. It's about 9 o'clock. We had 2 does come in first, and then he had a small spike come in and hit a scrape, and then he thought there was maybe one behind it, and then there was another small buck. So there's quite a few bucks moving through. He tried to get some footage of it, so we'll see if we got any footage of them. But then we started to decide that we wanted to find a tree stand for tonight for him to come back, and there's like at least 5 scrapes, all within 15 yards, and just back over my right shoulder. So they're definitely coming through here, hitting those scrapes. They're bedded up this draw or farther down, and all coming this way before they go out somewhere. But it's a good spot, fresh sign, really fresh sign. So Dad's gonna come back here this evening and see what happens, and I'm gonna move up to a slightly different spot. But we're gonna head out now, get some lunch, and we'll be back here this evening. Well, that pretty much puts a whole wrench in the whole plan of sitting in that draw. Of all the days that guy has to pick, he's picking on the day we want to come in here. Like, we can't catch a break to hunt down here where the bucks are. That just seems to be our luck when it comes to hunting. So if we didn't have bad luck, we wouldn't have any luck at all. So, kind of screwed now. I think my plan, since I'm all the way down here, and by the time I would get out, get somewhere else, it'd be pretty late, is either to go down through here and scout and see if there's any sign down there, or I think just my general thinking of what a deer's gonna do if they were bedded in that draw this afternoon and he came down and started picking, is that they're gonna do kind of like they did last time. We saw 2 or 3 bucks come out of this draw and jump the draw and go down into this draw that day he picked these beans. So I'm guessing they're gonna do the same thing, go from that draw, jump over, and maybe just come right down in here into the first place they have cover, the first bedding area, right over here in this draw. Real steep sides, south wind blowing off this way. So I'm gonna have to sneak down and around so that I don't blow my wind down in there. I'm gonna go down and around and sneak up to that edge over there, probably crawl up there and just look back down this draw, hope that maybe they just jump from that draw into this draw if they were down there this morning, or they might just be in this draw. But change of plans. Well, I'm seeing some deer. Completely surprised that I've even seen anything whatsoever. But there's 2 does that kind of just appeared down by the pond. There's just a little bit of a pond or waterway around here in front of me with a bunch of water in it. I looked down, I thought I saw a deer farther up on the corn. I was glassing it, I was just kind of scanning back across this stuff and saw 2 does down there by the pond. So we are seeing deer. I don't know if they ended up getting bumped out and come running down in. Doesn't really look like it. I think maybe they're just bedded kind of down in there by that pond. So it's early, they're on their feet. Hopefully there's a buck down in here somewhere.